Hello and welcome to Oweleketv. It is Outnumbered live on your screen on this beautiful day. My name is Ramsey and I have Rachel right here. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Ramsey.
And I also have Michael right here. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Ramsey. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Michael.
I don't know if you remember. Yesterday I was talking about the fact that Michael was actually dressed like someone whose wedding was yesterday,
corner, yeah.
Not knowing that it was a warm-up for his birthday. Happy birthday to you, Michael.
Thank you, Ramsey.
How old are you?
He's +1.
No, I know it's women that don't really say their age. All right, it's right. Good to have you. We're celebrating one of our own who is having his birthday today. Quickly, let's take you through the headlines that we have for the day. And don't forget that after the headlines, we will also bring you the very big story. And the first paper that we will be looking at today is Nigerian Tribune. What story do we have on the Tribune newspaper? The first headline says NAIRA redesign, I beg your pardon, NAIRA redesign. Insecurity force farmers into bankruptcy. Federal government is the one saying this, and you can get that on page 11. So pathetic rider that we have to that story. The writer says senators, reps worry over death from hunger and famine. That's pathetic. The federal government is the one lamenting. All right, they are now coming out. It's so good to know that they know what they've plunged the people into. But then it's more than just saying it. Let it be followed up with an action. How do we bring these people out of this hunger, this famine? What's happening? Would we keep quiet and be looking like this? Senators, this is not time for you to just lament and be worried over people dying because of hunger in your own country when you are right there at the Green Chamber. All right, another story right here says, still above the header, it says, drone attack, victims will get justice. This one is coming from Sultan, and just a rider to that story, which says, attack is 16th in Nigeria. Ndume is the one saying this. And we'll move away from that to the very big story that we have today. The big story on the Tribune newspaper anyway. All right. That one says Fubara walks tightrope as 27 Rivers Assembly members dump PDP for APC. Is it what I'm thinking? Is it what I'm thinking? Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking something. Remember the issue in Rivers State. All right, Fubara, the governor, he has not had it so easy since he came into office because Wike is right there. Should I say prognosing into the affairs of River State? But as it is right now, there is a defection. What will happen? Is any big fish going to defect soon? I don't know, but then there is a big fish in the administration of PDP from River State. I didn't call any name, but then when you see the toad jumping in the daylight, you should know that there is a cause. All right, this is the much I will be taking from the Nigerian Tribune. Let's quickly get to Rachel and see what she has for us from any of the papers.
Okay, thank you, Ramsey. On Leadership newspaper says 144,910 cases pending in Federal High Court. You can find that on page 12 of the Leadership newspaper. Says Northern lawmakers to rebuild Tundumbiri with 350 million naira. Sultan demands justice. This is as regards the Kaduna bombing, and the lawmakers they are saying they need 350 million naira to rebuild that area. Okay, so still on Leadership newspaper, say Works Ministry wants budget increased to 1.5 trillion naira. We keep hearing trillions and trillions and billions and budget, and so Ministry of Works and Housing, they came out to say we need our budget increased to 1.5 trillion naira. Still on the Leadership newspaper, agency wants passengers over luggage handling at airports. Agency wants passengers over luggage handling at airports. And the big story here on the Leadership newspaper says 1,358 projects threatened as CBN stops intervention funding. Under that story says Anchor Borrowers Program, 6 others to go. 4.6 million farmers, companies, others to repay 5.25 trillion naira. So I'm going to wrap it up here.
Okay, Michael. What do you have?
Yeah,
The birthday boy.
from the Punch newspaper. I feel you are so particular about my age, but I have my certificate are original, and everything is there so that
okay.
I'm not like others who cannot prove their age.
Are you a politician?
So if you need them, I can present them to you.
Okay, we'll need them much later.
Or from the Punch newspaper this morning, the big story, Rivers crisis. PDP moves to replace 27 pro-Wike Assembly defectors. Aggrieved legislators, no longer Rivers State House of Assembly members, declared seat vacant. PDP writes INEC. That is coming from the crisis from Rivers State, which took place yesterday. So on the Punch newspaper this morning, Labour fumes as federal government stops 35,000 award payments. I think this has to do with the minimum wage. There's still talks between the federal government and the Nigerian Labour Congress. And let's see what can that achieve for the Nigerian workers. And Tinubu condemns police station burning, tells army to protect democracy. This is coming from Borno State, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited the state, of course, to grace an army event and use the opportunity to call on the army to protect democracy. We don't know how the army can protect the democracy when our laws have been jeopardized by disobeying a lot of court orders and all of these jurisdictions. We just get to see how our democracy can be protected by our army men. And still on the Punch newspaper, I think that will be the last story, because of how unique this story is. OSIMHEN, OSHOALA win African Footballers of the Year awards.
Yeah.
And this is all celebrating the proud Nigerians for making Nigeria so proud. We are proud of you. Congratulations to Nigeria. Congratulations, OSHOALA. Congratulations, OSIMHEN. That is all I can take from the Punch newspaper this morning.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. I think I wouldn't go further until I say congratulations to Victor OSIMHEN and also Azizat OSHOALA. Of course, these players have been outstanding, and I wasn't surprised when they got it. I think there is some form of transparency. Nigeria backed more from the CAF award this time. So congratulations to our guys for making us proud once again. All right, let's move away from there and let's go to the next paper, which is the Nigerian News Direct. I have this very big story right here above the header saying capital adequacy. Nigerian banks remain resilient, financially sound. This one is coming from the Central Bank of Nigeria. If we say the Nigerian banks are resilient and very sound financially, then I begin to wonder, why are we having Naira scarcity? What's the problem? So I think this statement is indicting. If CBN will come to tell us that they are resilient and they are financially sound and we are having problems with our finances, especially the Naira, then something is fishy somewhere that should be looked into. Then this other story says, I will win the battle to keep Nigeria safe, Tinubu declares, right? We're waiting to see that. We are waiting to see that. Then another big story here says, I am feeling pain taking this story. Blackout as national grid collapses again. Underline that word, again. You can get the details of that. I know Nigerians will be interested in that story. I think we should talk about that much later. That you can find on page 22 of the Nigerian News Direct. Then the last story that I'll be taking from here says federal government targets 18% tax to GDP ratio in 3 years. We have two riders to that story. The first rider says rakes in 1.75 trillion naira from corporate taxes in Q3 2023. Then the second rider says as IMF recommends adoption of digital technologies to improve tax collection compliance. Well, we are in a digital age. We are in the 21st century where everything is being digitalized. Technology is taking the place. So if tax collection is being digitalized, I think it will go a long way, all right, to stop people from cutting shortcuts, people who siphon this money, at least. There will be a stop to that. This is the more should be taken from the headlines. Don't go nowhere. We just want to have a little time out. After this, we'll return back and we will hit your screen again with the big story, which will interest you because it has something to do with you directly. We will be back. It's still Ramsey, Rachel, and Michael.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still outnumbered live on your screen, and it's still Ramsey, Rachel, and Michael. Back to the big story. We said we're going to talk about this story when we return back, the fact that the blackout is returning back again. The national grid has been collapsing. This is not the first time. Even in the papers here, you hear the way I read it out, that blackout as national grid collapses again, meaning it has happened the first time. Sometimes you begin to ask questions. Why is it collapsing? What is the problem? This is not the first time it's happening. Why is everybody quiet about it? This is one social amenity. Electricity is something that everyone needs as a Nigerian. The business owners, they need it. All right. The common man needs it to do one or two things. A lot of businesses will go crumbling because of this collapse of the national grid. But then the people in authority are keeping quiet about it. The last time I checked, the Minister of Power came out to say, well, we're having issue with power. Reason being that there are some cabals who are responsible because they sell generators and they deal in diesel. They really want to sell. They want to make profit. So they do everything to truncate the existence of electricity. And that's the reason we are having a lot of issues with power supply in this country. Now it is the national grid collapse. The last time it happened, a lot of people were crying. Business owners were crying. Businesses were crumbling. And it is happening again. The first time it happened, let's assume it was a mistake. Once bitten, twice shy. Why is it happening again?
You
and again
that
and again.
It has happened once.
This is not the first. No.
Under Buhari administration, we had about over 100 times of collapse.
100.
Yes.
I mean, over 100.
Over 100.
Of 8 years of Buhari. Now, Tinubu just come in, we started. He's not even up to 1 year in office. Now, he has an agenda for power. So people will begin to wonder. You see, when the politician brings their manifesto, you first understand the problem, and then your manifesto is to address these issues. And then why are we still having this? They spent over 1 trillion naira for this under Buhari. So the budget of 2023 that was presented by Buhari is still to solve this issue, but yet for over 8 years he could not solve it. And then you are coming in instead of you to see how you can actually. Nigerians are already tired. We are already passing through a lot. We are already seeing shege. Now you want to bring in another problem. issue of power in. It's worrisome.
But come, let me ask you, Rachel, why is it that, okay, we've had this thing in the previous administration, this collapse, like Michael said, over 100 times. Somebody is coming in from the same party, okay? You've been part of the system indirectly because you call yourself a kingmaker. Now you said it's your turn to become the president of this country. And you know the problem that was existing, even though when you have one hand in the administration and you come in and the same thing is happening under your watch in a very short time. What would you say to that? Can we call that insensitivity? Can we call that maybe because they don't have the people at heart? What exactly could you say is the reason for this?
Okay, so Ramsey, we already have answers to these questions. You know, we have answered because electricity is not like the only problem we have in Nigeria. It is one. And I'm even asking, we're talking about national grid collapsing and all. Do we even really have electricity in Nigeria? Let's start from there. Do we really have electricity in Nigeria? As of June this year, Nigeria ranks, you know, world's top country with lack of access to electricity. As of June this year, that is the top country. We ranked top as the world with lack of access to electricity. And we are still Nigerians. In Nigeria, we say we supply electricity to some African countries. We supply to Togo, we supply to Benin, we supply to Niger. And we are the ones now having issues with electricity. We face these issues. And I always say this, the government, everything they do, every step they take, it looks like an intentional act to push Nigerians into poverty the more. It looks like, oh, these people are enjoying. I don't want them to be here. I need them to keep, because it's just like looking for every way possible just so people can just suffer. Now, this national grid collapse we're talking about, there's no how it's not going to affect businesses.
Sure.
A whole lot of, and as it's affecting businesses, things will keep increasing. Imagine someone who is managing a cyber cafe, who is doing printing and, you know, you type, you print, and maybe it's 20 naira before. Now I'm using fuel. Fuel is expensive. I'm using my hard-earned money to go and buy fuel that is expensive. And you want me to now still print out for you the same 20 naira? It's not possible. I would definitely increase it. Imagine someone selling ice fish in the market. A woman who is selling ice fish. Fish now, okay, she has to store it just so that these things can be blocked, so it can be good for someone who wants to buy. How do you expect someone who is using generator to keep these things intact, to sell it at the same amount that she was selling it before? It's not possible. Imagine all of these things. It's looking like an intentional act. Imagine if I do not want to sell my things expensive. There's no how. It's not possible because I'm going to be at loss. I'm going to lose. And so it's just looking like an intentional act. You keep pushing people. You keep pushing people. Electricity will come today. We'll have issues with electricity. Tomorrow we'll talk about NAIRA scarcity. Next month we'll talk about fuel. And then we'll talk about transportation. Different issues. And then we'll talk about housing in Nigeria. We'll talk about C of O getting to 5 million naira. So many issues.
So many things.
So many things. And you're wondering.
And Nigerians are the ones that are suffering.
And their budget for this thing, for Christ's sake. We're hearing trillions of naira. We're hearing billions of naira going into this thing. Where are this money going into?
That's the
Look
big
at
question.
the road.
That's
Look at the road.
question.
In Abuja, you see bad roads, you see potholes everywhere. I saw a picture and I was laughing in a country, and there was just one small tiny hole on one road. And then the minister of roads in their country, minister of works in their country went there with some people, and they are talking about ways to just one very tiny circle like this on the road. And I was saying, oh wow, interesting. In another country, but ours in our own country, if you do not see Sockaway on the road, before we know it is pothole, then they'll come and pause.
It is in this same country that a governor of a state was swimming in an erosion.
Yes, please mention it. Edo State, for Christ's sake. And these things keep happening. You're wondering why. You're wondering why. So for me, it's not just about insensitivity or waiting or that. Or look, from the beginning of this whole thing, politicians, they're just fixing themselves in them. They already know who is. The truth is, let's not lie to ourselves. If this present president lives there, they already have in their minds who they want to come, who is coming next. And that's because they have an agenda.
But
they have a plan.
They shouldn't make us go through what Nigerians are going through now.
Well,
you hear the senators this morning saying people are dying because of hunger.
This is coming from the government.
State.
And then you expect people not to leave the country. People will leave. People will go. Just because we keep saying, Nigeria go better. Nigeria go better. I've been hearing Nigeria go better from when
you were born, and they told you were going to be the leader of tomorrow.
Leader of
and
tomorrow.
That tomorrow has not come. And look at your age.
Yes, and we keep hearing Nigeria go better, Nigeria.
Do
you understand? Nigeria go better, Nigeria go better. And this thing will continue. So it's not just about electricity. It's not just, look, national collapse, grid collapse, whatever collapse is. In fact, as we are now, it's just that the only thing is that we need to talk about these things so that it doesn't look like, oh, Nigerians are foolish and they're quiet.
All right, I think we need to talk about these things. It shouldn't look like Nigerians are quiet and Nigerians are not doing anything about it. As it is right now, I don't know. But then, I was somewhere yesterday, like you talk about people leaving the country, and someone was, an expert, a professional, was saying, well, someone that I know in that office is already out of the country. And the other ones that were there were seriously preparing, asking me how they can get out of the country. And I was like, wow, people really want to leave this country. As it is right now, briefly, Michael, looking at this situation, the people that are behind this, because if a minister of power will come out to say, well, there are some cabals that are behind these things happening, truncating the effort of the electricity working, then what are we saying? Is it that they can't fish these people out to stop this? In just a minute, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think the House of Representatives, last administration, they made attempts, to addressing this issue of power. They invited the TCN, and all the parastatals under the Ministry of Power working to restore it. But the truth of the matter is that, the people are being awarded this contract. And then who are those that are awarded the contract? it's not a common Nigerian. It is a political class. And because they have a mandate that they have to reward people against the next election, they empower them for the next election, they cannot question them. Majority of the House of Representative members are the ruling party. Majority at the Senate are the ruling party. They are them. They sit down in the same table at the party national secretariat to decide who they give ticket to decide who takes what and go back with what. So the point is recycling. So I feel the moment we stop politicizing a contract in this country, the moment you stop, because this person is APC, this person is PDP, who address this issue. Let competent hands handle this issue.
But
it's fixable.
Is that possible?
It's fixable.
So that's the question.
You think it's fixable?
It's fixable.
All right. If you think it's fixable, just let us know in the comment section, because the way things are going right now, the common man is the one suffering. If you look at the whole situation, look at what Rachel said and look at what Michael said, including the ones that I've said. The bottom line is that the common man, the man in that village who is supposed to be enjoying electricity, they are the ones suffering. All right. Go to places like Boko, for instance. Go to places like Konshisha. You name those interior places. They need electricity to survive because of the little businesses they do. But then, what do we do? A problem known is half solved. Let's fix this grid once and for all so that it will stop collapsing. Thank you very much. This is the much we'll be taking on Outnumbered today. The big story is so big, and I know a lot of people are pondering. I know a lot of things are going on in your heart right now. But then, we believe strongly that Nigeria will be great again. So on a final note, in just 2 seconds, Rachel, what would you have to say to the government and to the people facing the brunt of this collapse?
Okay, so to the Nigerian people who have been fighting, they keep fighting. We are survivors, we are strong people, we are smart and we're intelligent. Don't stop being smart. Don't go into crime because you want to survive. Because if you go into crime, this same government will arrest you and they'll prosecute you without even looking why you went into it in the first place. So please, just anything you have to do, anything positive, anything good you have to do to survive, please do it, but don't go into crime.
I like that. Yes, Michael, just in 2 seconds.
Mine is Nigeria is already happening to all of us. People always say, don't allow Nigeria to happen to you. But we're in the state where it's already happening to us. But I think Christians, we have the faith that all of these, the Egyptians we see today, we'll see them no more. So hopefully that we'll survive this phase and then we'll come over it. And then we believe, as you said, the country that of our dream will be achievable.
Thank you very much. The country of our dream will be achievable, and make sure you don't go into crime, because I know a lot of people have been forced to the wall already. Even if you're exploding, explode positively. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ramsey, and Rachel, Michael, a very big thank you to you for bringing your voice and your opinion to the table to make this big story really big. All right, we'll see you again and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.